Hi guys, welcome to the CyberSecurity Skills Tech Bites. So today we're going to talk about SSL offloading. When you talk about SSL, which is the ability to go ahead and secure transaction between a client and a server, we need to go ahead and do it in a secure way. So the protocol that's used is called SSL, Secure Socket Layers. So from your point of view, you think of having 2 points being able to communicate in a secure way, so we can guarantee the integrity of the information, we can guarantee the confidentiality of the information, and also avoiding any tampering, between two systems. So this is very fundamental to you doing your online transaction in a secure way. So a lot of you guys do e-commerce, and buying things over the internet. You need to make sure that's secure. So the protocol that looks after that is called SSL, Secure Socket Layer. But that's not the full topic of today, but we're going to talk about something called SSL Offload. So what exactly are we talking about here? So from a transaction point of view, think of a client. I'm going to draw this client here with, again, small legs, trying to connect to a backend system. So you can see here, I'm always going to draw a backend system with tiny little circle. This is our applications, right? And this application is running obviously inside the server. You can see here, I'm going to draw this here, just nice little circle, and I'm going to call this server, okay? So we're trying to do a secure communication between the client and the backend system. Now, the challenge we've got with SSL is it is usually very CPU intensive, right? So the first thing that you need to bear in mind is very CPU intensive. Why? Because you have to do a lot of cryptography, challenges to be able to compute and crunch a lot of data, right, to secure it. So CPU intensive, okay? So you can see here, if you go ahead and enable SSL onto a backend system, onto a server, right, better be expected that your CPU computation wise is going to be very heavy. So we need to go ahead and find a way to offload this heavy crunching, right, of SSL onto another device. And that device is usually called my SSL offloader or my application delivery controller, right? And that's going to sit between the client and my backend system. So you can see here, essentially, I don't need to have any of the SSL on my backend server. I can actually go ahead and offload it to this device. Why? Well, because these devices are usually designed to cope with the huge amount of SSL transaction, given that it's very CPU intensive. So they will have specialist card, right, to cope with all the hard SSL work. Okay, and that's essentially what we refer to our SSL offload. So for that to work, instead of having the client talking to our backend system, you can see here directly, right? We're going to try to avoid that. We're going to get this client to talk to this device, usually called application delivery controllers, and that device will then talk to the backend system. Notice here that we're not doing SSL on that backend. We're only doing SSL between the client and our first device here. So essentially this device is taking all the hard work at this level, right, where the backend system essentially is doing nothing to do with SSL, which means we can have a lot of CPU spared here for our application transaction, okay? So by doing so, I've done SSL offloading from the backend system to my front-end devices, which is usually called my application delivery controller. That's essentially what we mean by SSL offloading. Think about CPU, right? Think about offloading all the hard work, all the hard crypto work that the backend system have to do to another device that is dedicated and has special functionality, special hardware to be able to provide that functionality, right? So we save CPU, potentially also save cost, right? Because these backend systems do not have to be as expensive, do not have to be as powerful, because all that functionality has now been offloaded to my ADC. That's it. Thank you guys.